creator of all that is, ubiquitous, encompassing, profound. Tuning into this energy of the divine is humbling and empowering all at once. That is one of the mysteries, the minuscule and the majuscule. Our part right here, right now, is why we are here, why we are tuning in. We are our purpose. Consider no predator and no prey, just us awash in divine energy with all its movement and play. When we do this, there is peace within. When there is peace within, there is gratitude. Where there is gratitude, there is clarity and direction that we are here to take responsibility now that we know who we are. We are of source, of creator energy, and so it is.
Thank you, Charlie.
My pleasure.
My name's Ron Vroom, and I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. Today, our court served papers on 3 courts, a city attorney, a sheriff, and the court administrator for 2 courts in 2 separate jurisdictions. Following up what started out as a small claims court submission by me against the city of, I got a dog that needs attention, the city of Beaverton. And it was a simple claim, no big deal, for $8,000. It could have been for 10, and it was just a general claim. They arrested me without any documentation. They had no original paperwork. They just did it because they could. And I didn't like it, and they said tough. But anyhow, so I filed that paper with the small claims court, and the city of Beaverton has the choice to accept that, or they can counterclaim that and say, no, we want a jury trial, and that's their right. But as there is a man involved, it has to be an Article 3, Amendment 7 court, because I'm not the all caps version of my name. So they have to provide a de jure court. They requested it. They transferred it from small claims to a new jurisdiction. And the new jurisdiction says, because you changed the jurisdiction, I, Ron, get to change the claim. I can increase the claim. That's part of the deal. So I increased the claim lawfully and legitimately with incontrovertible evidence from one claim for $8,000 for fraud violating my rights when they arrested me without proper paper. That morphed into 5 cops in uniform, 2 detectives, a couple of city attorneys, a judge for the city. I think altogether there was 5 appellate court judges and another 5 Supreme Court judges, but all that's in the record, so we'll sort that out. And all of them were charged at 18 USC 3571, which says when you violate somebody's inalienable rights or unalienable rights or due process, that's $250,000 for each instance. And I have a whole bunch of instances there. And with just the incontrovertible evidence that's on the record that you read and don't have to judge, it's a done deal. So our paperwork now has been filed into what Washington County and the state of Oregon's judiciary circuit court for the county of Washington. They changed it from the Washington County Court to the Circuit Court for the state of Oregon for the county of Washington, which is another jurisdiction. And the paperwork we filed is a notice and demand with a caveat of, what is it? Will. A caveat of will. Look up will in the dictionary and see what it is. But anyhow, we have a caveat to will. And when you read what that means that it has to be argued in open court. And 3 different courts accepted our paperwork from the one Supreme Court on Oregon claiming original jurisdiction, Article 3, Amendment 7. So that was filed today. That's a hard thing to do. We have to present our people to their particular offices at particular times. And the professional ones say, hello, yes, you're serving here. Yes, I'll sign where it is. You want it stamped, and they stamp it, and you walk out, and it takes you 3 minutes. You got to drive there, park the car, walk, elevator, and all that stuff. But professionally done, 3 minutes, and drive to the next one. Professionally done, 3 minutes. And we now had the city of Beaverton, their city attorney, they had been served, and the office of sheriff and the sheriff for Washington County had been served. No problem, done in half an hour. Then the full force of the court with our new and proposed deputy marshal, our director, Charlie White, member of the action committee, Cynthia Palmatier, and me, the plaintiff or defendant, depending upon which court you're looking at, could not serve the 2 courts in the courthouse of the Washington County Court, the building, the original place. They wouldn't show up. They wouldn't come. They sent the wrong people. The people they sent said they had the title but didn't have the authority. And then, oh my goodness, it's lunchtime. So we can't do anything now. And he's in a meeting. And it was 2:30 before he finally showed up in his office. And then he was just as nice and stamped and signed the documents for the two courts, and everything was all good again. But they did their little torture chest first. During that time, in and out of courts and going through metal detecting gates, hands stuck in the women's purses. What is this? And oh, can I look at that? And the difference between, can I look in your purse? Yeah, you can look in it, but no, you can't paw through everything that's in it. Terrible. I mean, some really crude people. And then when I knock on the door loudly, if you don't answer your door, then I knock on the door louder. And if you should be there, then you should. And just it's because it's in the courthouse, that's not my issue. That they sent a clerk out. I looked through the window in a door into a courtroom. That's why they put windows in the doors so you can look through. And so I did. And I looked for a little while, and there was people in there and looking what they were doing. And the judge sent a clerk out to tell me that I was making him uncomfortable and I shouldn't look through the window anymore. I sent her away. That's the judge's problem, not my problem. But I speak too loud. And so then we had, I guess, 6 uniformed sheriffs there and two plainclothesmen that were there to testify, and people telling us to sit down and be quiet. And I didn't say one bad word. I had many opportunities. My initial response to that is not polite, but I was good. And I'm quite proud of myself. Cynthia did pretty good also, but Cynthia has maybe she wasn't as nice as I was. And we were talking to a 28-year veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Office. She looked about 35 and she's in pretty good shape. And she's talked to us before. Cynthia engaged her quite well, giving her a good and then she looked around and says something like, "Where's the nice one?" And Cynthia points out Charlie sitting on the bench being a good girl. That's her basic desire, is to be good. And it's hard on people like that when everything around you is just confrontational and badges and guns and all these vibes of you will do as you're told, and all my vibes of, oh yeah, we'll put that where, but that doesn't work. You have to be proper and do a good job. Cynthia says to the sheriff, "Oh, my son, he retired recently as a deputy sheriff in Kern County, California. Now all of a sudden she's the mother of a deputy sheriff talking to a sheriff. And the whole atmosphere changes."
No, I'm going to interrupt you. It changed when that one guy in the suit was poking fun at his other friend that was in plain clothes that was there, that was a sheriff, but we didn't know that came up and talked to you, who was very, in my opinion, kind and gentle, and the guy started making fun of it, and the mom in me came out, and the disrespect. And I just looked at him because he didn't know that I could hear him or tell what he was doing. And I said that it was very rude and disrespectful. And it was a legitimate question, you know, who is that guy? Is he a sheriff? Because he wasn't in his, you know, dress clothes. So anyway, that's how that one went, Ron. I was already aggravated from them. I literally took my purse away from them. They decided on the second entry into the building when we came back to try to meet up with them again that they were going to that I had a set of tweezers in there, and they asked, you know, they said we need to find them and make sure that that's all they are. And they knew where, and I said, you know where they are in my purse? I take it, you know, because they said, well, yeah. And the woman opened up a little purse inside, and she could see where they were right off the bat, but instead she chose to take out every single one of my supplements that I have, and they're all identified. I have them identified as what they are. They're for traveling in case I start getting sick. It's like quercetin and quinine and that kind of stuff, and charcoal. And I got so mad. I'm just like, what are you doing? You know, and she started saying, well, you have a lot of pills and I need to identify them. And I said, no, you don't. Give me my purse back. And Charlie, who was her second time coming in, again, they found her breast spray, which had a tiny bit of alcohol in it. Well, the first time they rifled through her purse, and that Ron threw a fit about that. The second time they took it out and they wouldn't let her bring it in because it had alcohol in it. And I said, that's it. I almost lost it. I almost started yelling like you would, Ron. But I didn't. I just said, give me my purse back. It's going outside. You have no right or authority to go through my stuff like that. And I said, no, you don't.
Point of order.
Yes.
When you go to one of their buildings, take this or your facsimile. That's photo ID. Take that with you and nothing else. And then there's no problems or issues at all, ever. I learned that from Richard. And it's wonderful advice.
Okay.
We went in and out of that building, and they didn't like us. They didn't like what we were doing the last time we were there, and they don't like it anymore this time. And then they just start hard-assing you. And then it's away you go. You don't want that one. They're just looking to hit you with the stick and put you in jail overnight. Have a nice day. So there we are on after action for what happened today. If anybody's got a question, I'd be happy to answer it if I can. My dog is demanding attention. So unless there's questions or additions, I yield.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. Just what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.